Salute, comrades. You're now tapped into Behind the Walls Talk. I'm your host and founder, William Thomas McCallum Jr., the voice from within and soldier for the silenced. This isn't just a podcast. This is a platform, a battleground for truth, a microphone for the voiceless. We're here to amplify the stories of the incarcerated, the men and women whose voices have been buried beneath steel, stigma, and silence. Here, nothing is sugar-coated. The truths aren't ignored, erased, or rewritten. They're raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically real. Whether they're doing time for past mistakes or enduring the weight of injustice, their stories matter, and they will be heard. This is about more than exposure. It's about awakening. We exist to spark dialogue, ignite reform, and demand liberation. We're not begging for sympathy. We're building a movement. So stay tapped in, stay locked in. This is Behind the Walls Talk. Welcome to the revolution. This interview is more than just questions. It's a platform for truth, growth, and humanity. Every story we hear behind these walls is a story the outside world needs to understand. So to our guest today, thank you in advance for being open, honest, and courageous. This is your space. Your voice matters here. Let's begin. What's your name, your office number, and where are you from?
First and foremost, peace and blessings. My name is Dryan Vereen, also known as Drizzo. My opus 1163525, and I'm from Kansas City, North Carolina.
What were you convicted of, and how much time did they sentence you to, Mr. Vereen?
I was
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
locked up for capital murder, but they dropped it to 2 counts of second-degree murder, and I pled out in an apple plea on my third day of trial for 16 to 20 years.
How long have you not been incarcerated?
14 and a half years.
How old were you when you came into the system, and what were you feeling at that time?
Well, my first time currently being locked up when I was like 13, 14, but I got arrested.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
When I was 17 years old, I got out when I was 21 years old in 2010 for 90 days, and I was arrested for my alleged crime that I'm doing time for now.
Okay.
My first thought when I came into the system was like, this is not for me. Well, you know, being in the streets without no guidance or no father figure, like, you learn to adapt to your environment real quickly. So I just adapted.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have 3 kids. I have a 19-year-old son that is named after me. He's from Florida, currently lives in Atlanta. I have an 18-year-old daughter that's from Whiteville, North Carolina, and I have a 14-year-old son from South Carolina.
How does it feel being physically absent from your child's life?
Being physically absent from my child's life, like, it's a hard burden to carry, but it also keeps you on your toes where you got to realize, like, those 3 are the things that is greater than any situation that you faced or any obstacle lay before you when you're doing this day-to-day lifestyle of prison.
So, what is it that you do to be present for them mentally and spiritually?
Mentally and spiritually, like, every chance I get on calls, you know, I listen to their every thought. I let them know, like, you better than Dad. That's what I tell my sons all the time. Learn from what I went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to adapt to the streets to be seen as someone. You know, so I hear them out And I let them know again, like, your every thought matters. Never let no one make you feel like what you think doesn't matter, whether they older than you or not. You know what I'm saying? Mother, father, grandparents, whatever, because you have a right to your own ideas. My daughter, I try to allow her to see, like, no matter what, don't let a man take over her. You know, she is beautiful and she can be anything as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything I can do to uplift my kids, to look at life different than what I looked at life growing up without a father in their life. You know, I try to pass it on to them through my thoughts, but also listen to their thoughts and opinions. And, you know, just let them know, like, it matters. Not everything I feel or everything I think is going to always be the right way for them. But, you know, basically, like, we have an open relationship. And I let them know as well as spiritually, like, there's a higher power. Who am I to put a name on it, but there's only one God. You know, so whatever they choose to do or pray, you know what I'm saying, I just let them know, like, be all the way with it.
That's right. Yeah, I salute that. Hey, do you have anyone in society who supports you?
Yes, I have my mother. I have my wife. You know, I have my sister. But, you know, a few of the guys that I used to be out there with, you know, they be stragglers. You know, over the time, you know, a decade and a half, people go missing. I lost a lot of loved ones, and it's a lot of them there only when I call upon them, you know what I'm saying? But my number one supporters is my wife and my mom.
So what would you like to say to them right now?
I would like to tell my mom, like, yo, she did a hell of a job raising the man that I have learned to become today. I would like to tell my wife, like, I'm appreciative of the woman she is and being that real, not just my backbone, but my real, helping me see farther in life. Like, everyone needs someone that's going to help them to grow. So with her love and my mom love, I just feel like, yo, it keeps my mind on track. You know, we all get to the point where we just want to break and give back in. But when you think about those that you hurting, not only yourself, but those that's doing this time with you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you know, that helps you take that time that a lot of us, if we would have done when we was in the street, you know what I'm saying, we probably would have a different story to tell. So I just take that little tenth of a second, like, yo, I can't hurt her. I can't hurt my mom. She's my number one supporter, you know, and I thank them for that.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, tell us about your childhood. What experiences, traumas, or conditions that shaped your path?
My childhood, you know, I was raised in a single-parent home by a young mother, you know.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
With 3 other siblings. I got an older sister, then I got it's me, then it's a sister under me, then my little brother. So watching my mom struggle and going without eating at night to make sure we had what we needed, working 2-3 jobs to make sure we had a roof over our head. You know what I'm saying? Some of her relationships that led on to trauma of me seeing what she's going through, the abusiveness and all that. Like, it kind of put me in a mindset, or where at one point...
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
I felt weak, like I'm unable to help or defend my mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I always used to keep a lot in. You know, I ain't know how to express myself, so I kept a lot bottled in, and I used that when I got on the basketball court in school or the football field in school. So, you know, one day I'm at football practice, and one of my guys, we playing around, and I end up choking him out by accident, and he broke both his jaws. And they had just passed a zero-tolerance school law. So being that so, they expelled me from school and sent me to alternative school. And I just felt like, yo, like, y'all taking my biggest dream, which was to be a sports player. So when they took that, where I was tiptoeing in the streets, I just fully jumped out there. Like, I had no guidance. My mom raised me the best she could, but, you know, a woman can only raise a man, but to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? So I just jumped out into the streets, and everything went left from there. I moved to Florida when I was 15 years old, made my first child, went to Florida alone with a stranger I didn't even know, and, had run-ins with the law, came back to North Carolina and got shot in 2007. And after I got shot, and I seen the pain in my mom, my wife, my sister's eyes, and it was just like, I never allow this pain before them again. Before it be them, it'll be the others, you know what I'm saying? And I was just dark, bro. I really can't even say, like, how dark I was and what's the real reason of my darkness, because I'm still soul searching as I'm growing and developing to the greater man I am today.
So what do you think led you to this point in your life?
As far as prison?
Yeah.
I would say mistaking the identity of what a gangster, a real nigga was. Growing up, we all want to be, or we hard, or we gangster, or we a real nigga. And I had the mistaken identity of what I was doing, thinking it was some gangster type, lifestyle, when the whole time now I realized I was living with a closed mind, which is a thug lifestyle. Because a gangster, he's about family and business. What I was doing, I was just doing to make it to see the next day. You know what I'm saying? A gangster know when to balance the two. You know what I mean? So I was just lost and confused, living life with a closed mindset. They say you young and you dumb, but as you grow, you become wiser. And that's about it, bro. Like,
since you've been incarcerated, have you lost any loved ones?
Yeah, since I've been incarcerated, I probably can count off the top of my head like 20, 23 lost ones that were real close that I used to see on the day-to-day, like that's gone and I never see again. Actually, today was the day my granny passed. That was like the root to the family tree. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I lost a lot.
Sorry for your loss, homie. My heart was with you. Yeah, so how did you deal with that grief, the loneliness or the trauma while being behind these walls?
I mourn about it and I put it behind me. It's never forgotten. I done lost so much till I feel like I'm all cried out. So it hit me, but to me, after it hit me for that moment, like the next day, I just send my blessings to the universe and ask for strength to keep me focused and keep me going. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, that day gonna come for all. We just never prepared for it, but it will get there. And I'm a true believer in the higher power. He always testing us on a daily. Like, we never know how strong we are until being strong is our only option. You know what I mean? So I believe like it's only molded me for what's next.
So what has your prison experience been like so far?
I done been through the highs and the lows, bro. I done lived a celebrity life in prison, and I done been through the worst of trauma in prison, where I done been beaten by officers while I'm handcuffed. I done been chained to bed by officers for 3-4 days. I done been through the necessary officers pouring chemicals in my food. You know what I mean? Like, I just did like 3 years behind the door on Supermax.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And in return, get shipped to another prison. And as I'm going to the shower fully restrained, I get jumped on by officers. Had to get stitches in my mouth and my lip and all that. So, I done been through some of everything in prison, bro.
Okay. If you will, my brother, hang on, call right back. Behind the Walls Talk continues with my brother and comrade, Mr. Dryan Vereen. Hey, Mr. Vereen, what's something people on the outside would never understand about prison life?
They want to fully understand the the dignity that the people that's also human like you strips away from you. Like, to me, behind the walls, it's like living as a slave. You're told when to wash, you're told when to eat, you're told when to come out. They count you like sheep. Like, so I don't feel like a lot of people on the outside that never been through this side of their life, like, I don't think they'll really understand the power it takes, the strength it takes on the day-to-day battle of this lifestyle of just knowing, like, yo, I can't break, you know what I'm saying, or the things you see behind this wall, beyond what you see on television, like, just living it with your true self, you know what I'm saying, like, watching people hang themselves or cut themselves open, or you see stabbings every day. Like, I just don't think too many have or could, you know what I'm saying, sit here and do this calm as a lot of our brothers and sisters that are incarcerated have to.
What rights do you...
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
What rights do you think incarcerated people should be fighting for right now?
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
The rights for more education, the rights for equal rights, period. Like, just equal rights, period, bro. Like, you can't even put a finger on the rights that we need, the things that we need. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the way of life. I would feel like if I could, or if I had the power to, I'd change a whole lot of things, like the communication, the way the officers treat individuals, you know what I'm saying? Like, things that we should have or that we don't have. It's a whole lot, bro.
So, let me ask you this right here. If you had the chance to speak to lawmakers or the public, what would you want them to hear?
I would want them to hear that we need better living conditions, you know what I'm saying? That we need better access to clothes, shoes, the way of communication to our family. Like, they have scripters right now to where we can only call one person that's on your visitation list because they have you tagged S or G, et cetera, you know what I'm saying? You can only touch your family if you got a level 2 or a level 1, you know what I'm saying, or have immediate family, or only immediate family can put money on your account. Like, all those things strips away of those that had someone or never had someone but a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much that we have been stripped of. Yeah, it's been so much we have been stripped of that I feel like really should be set in stone. If I could, did that answer your question, my brother?
Yeah. I definitely understand what you're speaking about. We need to be treated as human beings. And for them to restrict us and limit us to telephone calls, visitation, and how we are to conduct these visitations and phone calls and everything, that isn't rehabilitation in itself. They're supposed to encourage family connection. So, and encouraging family connection helps with our rehabilitation because it gives us comfort, because that's the best support that we could possibly get, and it's from our family. So I definitely understand what you're speaking about. Let me ask you this: who are you today, and how is that different from who you were when you came in?
Today, I feel like I'm really that born leader that I was made and born to be. I feel like I'm totally different from who I was when I first came in, because now I am quick to think and slow to move, whereas I used to be quick to move and slow to think, only thinking after the worst of the worst has been done. So with the wisdom and the knowledge that I have and the way I decipher life, yeah, I would say I now have an open mind, so it takes an open mind to see new thoughts, because a closed mind can't and never will. You know, a lot of people only look at life through the physical eye. You know what I'm saying? That's only the vision of what's before them. But when you use your greater mindset, your third eye, which is your greater mindset, you start to see like, yo, beyond what you actually facing. Like, I'm in prison as I see myself in here physically every day, but mentally looking at life through my greater mindset is like I'm so far out of here. I mean, my mind stay on the outside more than the inside, because what they can trap physically, they can't trap mentally. Your mind is always free, and I live day to day by mind over matter. My mind is greater than the matter, the obstacles I face are only a stepping stone for me to move farther ahead.
So what was that turning point in your mindset?
The turning point of my mindset was really my kids and my mom going through a life scare where she had to have surgery. Like I said, that was my all. And I did so much wrong to my mother, and it's like it just woke me up when I lost also my closest brother, whose name was Jerome McClure, also known as Bebe. So once I lost that, it was like, yo, everything I ever did or put in for the streets, it was me and him. I lost that part. So it's like more that dark side of me was buried with him. You know, a lot would say, oh, I got to retaliate for my brother, but he left kids as well. So now my mindset is, yo, I got to do this not only for self, but for my kids and my mother and my wives and my sister, those who are closer to me. You know what I'm saying? So I really sat down and reflected myself, like, who am I trying to prove something to? Am I trying to prove it to me, or am I trying to prove it to others?
Behind the Walls Talk continue with Mr. Dryan Vereen. Hey, my brother, go ahead. Continue with your wisdom, my brother.
I don't really know where I left off at, but just saying, like, I'm more knowledgeable now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I now know what I didn't know in the past. You know what I mean? Like, I now know you can be loyal to a fault. You know what I'm saying? Though loyalty ain't just everything yet, the only thing you have to choose the situation you put yourself in or what you're going to be loyal to. Because the streets have no loyalty in return. So I just felt like it was time to give that side up. You know what I mean? Like, I salute all my righteous brothers, and I stand firm for all my righteous brothers. But as I was saying about the difference between a thug and a gangster, you got to know which one you want to balance. And you don't have to be in the street, shoot them up, bang, bang, to be that one, to be that leader. You can be a lawyer, you can be a homemaker, like whatever it is that's going to uplift the people. I feel like that's the more righteous way to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just came out that dark place that I was in, bro, like a wake-up call.
Okay. So let me ask you this, man. Message to the youth, homie. What would you say to young people?
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
What would you say to young people who are being misled or turning to crime because...
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
Because of trauma, poverty, or oppression?
I would tell the youth out there that's being misled by the wrong one that, yo, you are a leader within yourself. As kings and queens that we were born to be. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe everything you think. Like, let your thought that you process be what you go with. Because sometimes your thought is what affects you with the universe. You don't have to have a gang of friends to make you feel important. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is, let your every thought matter to you. In life, we have to realize everything we do, it starts with self. So if you loving yourself, love yourself. You can only be loyal to anyone outside of self if you loyal to self. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel like the streets or a game is the only way you can find comfort within someone. If you've been abandoned from family, if you've been abandoned for the closest one that you love, you still have others out here that love you.
That's right. That's right. If you could talk to your younger self what would you say?
If I could speak to my younger self, that's a good one. If I could speak to my younger self, I tell my younger self to cherish what you took for granted. Within queen you had, within the mother you had, within those that showed you they was in your corner since day one. I would tell my younger self when they stripped me up from me being in school to play sports that it's not over, that I should try a little harder, go through the necessities that I had to go through to make it back to where I wanted to be or where I felt like I needed to be. You know what I'm saying? I would have tell my younger self to set my needs over my wants, because it's not always what you want to do, but it's more so about what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? A lot never had an ideal vision of where they wanted to go in life. And my younger self didn't want to listen to nobody. I felt like I had it all figured out. I had all the questions. You know what I'm saying? So I would tell them, you know, a greater listener is an even greater teacher or a greater leader. You know what I'm saying? You have to listen to lead.
That's right. What does a second chance in society mean to you, bro?
A second chance in society will mean the world to me, bro. A second chance in society will mean to me like a breath of fresh air. You know, the last breath that I need to live. Like, you don't know, or I'm quite sure you know, but a lot don't know what it feels like when you being buried in concrete alive. You like a fish out of water. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is no place for a king or a queen to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you losing loved ones you can't touch. You seeing your wife, you seeing your sisters and brothers, you seeing them needing you in certain situations. And it beats you down to make you feel like you're less of a man because you're not there to give them that support and that protection. So a second chance to me, bro, I'll be everything.
That's right. If you were released tomorrow, what's the first thing you would do?
If I was released tomorrow, stepping straight out the gate, I'm going to take nature. You know, I'm going to kiss the ground, because I've been gone since I was a kid. You know, I've been gone since I was a kid. You know, and unfortunately, like, through my background, I'm scripted even going outside now. I haven't been outside in years unless it's a medical appointment. You know what I mean? Like, literally buried under concrete right now. You know, so with that being said, after I grab the gate, I'm going to hug my wifey, I'm going to hug my mother and my kids. And I'm getting from out of North Carolina, man, to start my life as a better man and show not only to the world but to myself, first and foremost, that I am who I said I am. For I ain't what I never will be, and that's a king, a greater man, a greater father, and a better leader.
So what are your hopes, goals, or dreams for when you return home?
My hopes and dreams is to create a bigger family, you know what I'm saying, to get my businesses off the ground, to support my queen, my mother, my kids, you know, and just explore life, do the things my younger self stripped away from me. I mean, like, I've been places, but I want to go and see farther. I just want to enjoy life, enjoy my freedom, bro. And one of my biggest things is being like a motivational speaker. I want to take my power for those who know me, which is quite a lot, you know what I'm saying? I want to take my voice and be like a motivational speaker to the youth, to show them, like, this one that you heard about, I've been through that, I experienced that, you know, so I can tell you, let me help you.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
I don't want to lead to destruction any longer. I want to lead.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
To a better person, to a better man, to a better queen. Like, that's my whole thing. That's one of my biggest things I would love to do, is to change those mindsets of the youth out there, and even some of the older guys or sisters, let them know, like, yo, it's more in life than the way you going right now. You know, like, take it from someone that done been through it. You know, a lot of times we try to reach the youth, or we try to reach some of the older ones that we more mature than, and they be like, yo, how you gonna tell me this if you never been through it? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna tell me how to swim if you don't know how to swim? So I believe with the power, the strength of my voice, that I'll be able to touch and change many lives, bro, off the strength of me being through it. Using one of my testimonies of life experiences. I remember I got shot. And my mom, you know, she's a Christian woman. That's the only thing I know her to be, is a woman in church. And she used to always whip me if I ain't trying to go to church, or force me to go to church, to miss sports events, because all she knew was church. And she forced that upon us, because you know how the Bible says. You got to raise them in the church. You feel me? So she raised me to be in church a whole lot. Till sometime I hated going to church. But after I got shot, and my mom risked coming to the block one night, and she was like, son, I want you to come to church with me. And I'm like, Mom, what you doing out here? She's like, baby, just come to church with me. To make a long story short, I got in the car and I went to church with her. Just me and my mom. Not even 10, 15 minutes later, it's damn near 20, 30 individuals of the guys that I never seen come to church a day in my life in church. And it was like the preacher, and I'm like, yo, you see the power you have. These guys in church because you in church. They follow you into the Lord's house. You know what I'm saying? So that's a testament to what I mean when I say I believe I can change lives. Because if that happened just off that one incident, just imagine if I put the full support that I put to being that man in the street, to being that man bringing many in to the righteous way of God. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So what do you want people to remember about you?
What I would want people to remember about me, bro, when it's all said and done, is that I'm not perfect. I don't like to say I've tried. I went through what I had to go through, and I believe every obstacle in life is to mold you to a better self. You just have to open up your eyes and see the vision of not what you want to be, but what you need to be in life. I want them to know I'm not who my past has made me, but I'm everything who I have grown to become today.
That's right. I salute you, my homie. Hey, yo, this has been a wonderful interview, bro. Word up. I appreciate you, man. Is there any last words you would like to share with the listeners of Behind the Walls Talk?
Share it one more time, bro.
Is there any last words you would like to share with the listeners of Behind the Walls Talk?
Yeah, I would like to share with all of the listeners, the fans, yo, just be yourself, love self, and always respect those that's in your corner and never take them for granted. Because sometimes when you burn your bridges, once they gone, man. You know, and yo, I love you. I love all those that listen. I support you. I love you, bro, for helping me get my story out. You know, just major salutes, homie. A shout out to my mom, my queen, my sister, and my kids, and all the guys that I know standing firm with me in my corner, homie.
I appreciate you, my brother. So I'm going to close with this. Thank you for sharing your truth, your pain, your lessons, and your hope. Here on Behind the Walls Talk, we don't just tell stories, we build bridges. Your words today have the power to reach beyond these walls, to spark understanding and to remind the world that change is possible. To those listening on the outside, never forget, behind every present idea is a human being. To those still inside, your voice is still powerful. Your future is still yours, and your story is not over. We see you, we hear you, and we're fighting with you. So once again, I appreciate you, my brother.
Already.
Till
Peace,
next
bro.
time, peace from Behind the Walls Talk.